Good morning. How is everybody? Good. Welcome to the state of Washington Township. My name is Greg Jacob. I am with Henry Ford Macomb Hospital. Welcome to all of you. And this is the inaugural state of Washington Township, so we're looking forward to this historic event. I'm glad you all enjoyed breakfast. We have a lot of sponsors that made today's event possible. Henry Ford is one of them. I'd like to introduce our interim president, Shana Johnson, to say a few words about Henry Ford.
For the vertically challenged. Good morning, everyone. So I am thrilled to be here to represent the Henry Ford Health System, and again, it is our pleasure to sponsor this event. So I'll just share a few things about Henry Ford Health in case you didn't know. I hope you're familiar that right around the corner we do have a healthcare center in Washington Township. It's at 30 Mile Road in Van Dyke. We also have a cadre of services that we offer there, imaging services that will meet your needs. We have lab services, orthopedic services, rehabilitation, and then you'll also find that we have primary care and urgent care in Richmond and Bruce Township. The Henry Ford Hospital, Macomb Hospital, is in Clinton Township, and we continue to be committed to serving the Macomb County. We have grown significantly over the years in size and scope, and so we have nationally recognized heart care programs, advanced level emergency and trauma services. We are a primary stroke center, and then we also have services such as cancer care, total joint replacements, which, as you know, you can have it done one day and home the same day. We also have inpatient rehabilitation, and you may have heard recently about a partnership with the Gilbert Foundation to bring the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab to Michigan, which will be amazing for those that seek higher level rehabilitation services. We also have birthing centers for families that are growing in the community, and we're excited about that. And then last but not least, we are very proud of our new 5-story patient tower, which will bring 160 private patient rooms to the Henry Ford Macomb Hospital, and that will offer a healing environment, and we are moving to create a 100% private hospital. And for those that have experienced being in a shared space, you know how important this is to communities and helping heal in a private way. We received a lot of input from the community as we sought to build out that space, so we have patients, families, providers that all contributed to the design of those rooms, and we're really excited about that. We've also expanded our capability to provide intensive care services, so think ICU and critical care. We've moved from 48 to 60 rooms, and so that is important as you think about the community aging population and the need for that higher acuity care. I'll close by saying we continue to be proud members of the healthcare continuum, and we continue to serve our county well, and we hope that we continue to meet all of your needs. And happy to answer any questions that you may have after the event, but please enjoy breakfast and enjoy today's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Shana. And our other sponsors today, I will list them, and if you're speaking on behalf of that sponsor, please come up, line up, and then introduce yourself and do your little 60-second commercial. Our other sponsors today are Anderson, Eckstein, Westrick Incorporated, DTE, First State Bank. Thank you. That's for you. Fishbeck, Giffords Webster, ITC Michigan, Our Credit Union, Priority Waste, and Spalding Dedecker. Introduce yourself, please.
All right, thank you. Good morning. My name is Jason Arlo. I'm Executive Vice President and Director of Architecture for Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick. Some of you may know us as AEW. We're an engineering, architecture, and surveying firm. We were founded in Macomb County in 1968, and we have 3 locations, one in Shelby Township, one in Livonia, and we have a newly renovated office in the city of Roseville. So we designed the built environment that every single one of us use every day, from the horizontal elements of roads, bridges, sanitary sewers, water mains, storm systems, to vertical structures that we use, city halls, police stations, fire stations, libraries, educational facilities, industrial buildings. And we have over 150 of the most talented team members from around the globe. And we all are working under the same guiding principles, which is our core values at AEW. And those are to be compassionate, dedicated, ethical, genuine, respectful, and service-oriented. So those are the guiding principles that we use at our company every single day, designing the built environment for all of you. I'd just like to say thank you to the Chamber for having us today, and thank you to Washington Township. We are also a very proud partner with Washington. We were fortunate enough to design their new fire station number 3, and we're currently working on renovations and improvements to fire station number 2. So thank you again for having us. Hope everyone has a great weekend and a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Phil Whitman. I'm Corporate Government Affairs Regional Manager for DTE Energy. I do Macomb and St. Clair counties. Happy to be here in Washington Township. Hi, Sam. As everyone knows, this is a really high growth area, and some of the things that we're doing at DTE Energy to support that growth is building new substations. We've got one going in. It's actually in Shelby Township, but it'll help Washington Township's reliability. It's on 24 Mile and Van Dyke there. We're reconductoring, we're putting new equipment on the system to isolate outages so that when you have a tree fall there's 10 people on a circuit, you have a tree fall between house 1 and house 2, not all 10 houses go out. So we're doing things like that, and then we're doing simpler things to improve things like street lights. Street lights aren't something that everyone thinks about on a day-to-day basis, they're just there. But we're replacing older high-pressure sodium light bulbs with newer LED ones, and that's a cost savings for communities that have community lighting with us, and it's also better for the environment. So just a couple of things that we're doing in the community to support what's going on in Washington Township, and looking forward to hearing the great things that are going on here. Thanks, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Matt Allen, the Director of Public Affairs and Government Relations for Priority Waste, your garbage hauler. And when I see gatherings like this, I can't help but think of family. And so, on our priority family of Zach Goff is over here this morning. He's our digital marketing and media coordinator. He creates all the great stuff that you see on the internet for us. And Dan Vinay is our Vice President of Municipal Relations, who played an integral part in actually getting us to be here in Washington Township as your service provider. And our Chief Sales Officer, I'm sorry, Andrea, you choked me up, is Andrea Cruz. And her leadership helped get us to where we are today. So over the last 15 months, we proudly served the citizens of Washington Township. And I know when we first came in here, it was a little bit rough with the transition from the previous company. But I got to say, Sam Pravetti's leadership made all the difference in the world, because there's something that's not sung loud enough for a lot of leadership, and that is, I am the voice of calm and reason. And Sam epitomizes, I am the voice of calm and reason. And he's an honorable man, and we're happy to be working with him on a daily basis and his team, which includes, Dennis and Cindy and Gary and Dan from the trustees, and Mike and Stan, the clerk and treasurer. So when we work with folks every day, we think of it like family. So I just want to let you know that the family's growing with Priority, and it's growing right around us. We just picked up Romeo as a service provider, along with Mount Clemens and East Point earlier this year. We just did renewals in Utica and New Baltimore. And just this week, we renewed our contract with the city of Flint, which included a $4.6 million combined grant to do full-service curbside recycling in the city of Flint. They're going to be one of the leader communities in our state, and Dan and Andrea were a very integral part of making all of that happen. It was a year and a half's worth of work with Recycling Partnership and Eagle through the state of Michigan to get that done, and we're very proud of their work and happy to continue to serve just like we do in Washington. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we're also going to be starting service in the city of Sterling Heights, the neighbors down the road, in spring of 2024 with a fully integrated curbside recycling system there as well for the first time. So as the trends continue to change in the county, we're here to serve you and are fully equipped to do that. So we do 2.3 million touches a week, and we have a 99.97% customer satisfaction and service rate, which means we're doing a good job. And we're happy to do that, and thank you for Sam for having faith in us as we have faith in all of you. Thank you so much, and good morning.
Good morning. I'm Heather Williams. I'm from First State Bank. I am the new branch manager at the Washington Township branch at 26 and Jewel. First State Bank is your hometown bank. We are 106 years old. We stick to some very conservative and wonderful values. We offer services that all the big banks offer: consumer lending, we do commercial lending, mortgages, and we have CD rates right now they just went up again last week. So we have great CD rates and money market rates that are good for consumers and for businesses. And one of the things that I'm super proud of for First State Bank is how we are involved in the local communities. We are in the middle of our Bank's Giving. If you don't know what that is, First State Bank donates $30,000 to local nonprofit groups. And one nonprofit group is going to get a $10,000 donation, and then there's 4 $5,000 winners. Right now, if you go to fsb.bank, you can vote. There's a little bit of a description for each nonprofit group. There's about 5 or 6 categories, and you just pick one of the nonprofit groups and vote for them, and the one that speaks to your heart. And it just takes a minute or two to go on and vote, and they will benefit from a donation from First State Bank. So, Heather Williams from First State Bank, thank you.
Good morning. I'm Catherine DeDecker. I'm Vice President for Spalding DeDecker. I also have Cassie Meidel, our Planning Director, sitting in the back there. We are a civil engineering surveying firm and planning firm, and we've been around since 1954. And our business was built on municipal engineering. So we like to serve communities. We like to help those communities succeed. We work with townships. We work with cities. We work with counties. And we're passionate about making sure that the infrastructure that everybody needs is maintained well, is designed, and is improved. So that's what we do. We help our clients succeed. And have a good morning.
So hey Mark, I want to thank you really a lot for coming out here today to Washington Township. This is my first State of the Township, and I really want to highlight all the spots of Washington Township. Not just it's becoming an attraction for many people to come and move here, but we also still contain that rural character that so many people are attracted to come here to Washington.
It's my pleasure. Actually, you've got a lot to brag about. I mean, it's a beautiful township, and fortunately with your leadership and the board, you guys have really taken it to the next level. So, I think you're going to have a fabulous time of explaining exactly what goes on here in Washington Township.
As you know, Washington Township's great all 4 seasons throughout the year. We have our parks in the summertime with all different amenities, including our Metro Park, Stony Creek. We're home to the Macomb Orchard Trail, which is great all 4 seasons to enjoy. We have our beautiful orchards. We have golf courses, 3 world-renowned right here in Washington. Most notably, we have a great Parks and Rec tri-community with Romeo and Bruce working together with great events throughout the year for our residents and community. As supervisor, one of my main concerns here, along with many of the residents, is our goal to maintain some of the historical aspects of Washington Township. We're very blessed to have the Octagon House, which we have a society that handles and takes care of that. We also have the Washington Historical Society, which has artifacts from all different parts of our township. The last few years also, we've been working on creating a memorial park, and I'm proud to say that last fall we actually opened it right at the corner of 27 and Van Dyke. This helps spotlight our local veterans here in Washington Township throughout the years. We actually have veterans going back here in our local cemeteries back to the Revolutionary War. We're really blessed to have a great school district here in Washington, which helps attract more families as well, and that's one of the start points of our community. Our board we really reinvest in our fire department. We have state-of-the-art equipment, so fire and safety is always a big concern of mine,
Yeah.
making sure it's safe.
And it's good to see you and the board obviously have that first and foremost in your mindset, because there is no question that is the primary responsibility of government is public safety, and they do a great job here. Your fire department is phenomenal, will do an incredible job, as well as the EMS, and people value that. That's why they continue to make Washington Township their home. They want to live here.
So I want to thank you again for coming out today as I prepare for my first State of the Township for Washington.
I appreciate being out here, and I know you're going to do a great job because you got a lot of good things to talk about, so good luck to you.
Okay. With that, let's take a bite and maybe let's do a little quick tour before you leave.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Here we go. More, right? Ready, go. Yes! You noticed it first. Oh, let's go.
Washington Township, yours to explore.
Sam Praviti, Supervisor, Washington Township.
Sorry. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for attending. I want to thank our County Executive, Mark Hackle, for helping me put this introduction video together, along with our amazing WBRW team back here, Channel 6 here in Washington Township. And of course, I want to thank Rob and Trish from Big Red Orchard for letting us use help showcase our rural character. I'm sure most of you may not have noticed, but during the video, Rob kept looking back at us as I was having my fake heart attack. It wasn't a real one. And the video guy kept telling him to drive. So it turned out pretty good. But I like to think that if I had a real heart attack, they wouldn't be yelling at Rob to keep driving. So, let's see here. I want to take this time to thank all the sponsors again for their generosity in sponsoring this event, and also Kelly Lovati, and Macomb County Chamber for hosting this event. As you know, this is my first time hosting the State of the Township for Washington, and it gives me great pride to share the highlights of our township here. Since being elected, I have made it my mission, pride, and goal to share and promote all the exciting and great things here in our township. This morning, I have the high honor to share the great things here in Washington Township. From my backdrop, as you can tell, I love to promote our township logo and emblem. It exemplifies what our goals for Washington is: a rich history with rural character, and most of all, responsible development with numerous activities and events throughout the year. This year, hence, the video alludes to Washington Township, yours to explore throughout the year. I want to take time to spotlight my other board members. We have our trustee, Dennis Stevenson, Gary Kopp, Cindy Olson and Dan Dukowski, our treasurer, Mike Nicely, who is represented today by our deputy treasurer, Matt Tylecki. And of course, I saved the best for last, our clerk, Stan Babinski, and deputy clerk, Mary Jermaeus. He's the best for last because he counts the votes, so there you go. So Washington, as everyone sees the elected officials, but the employees are the backbone of our township. I want to take this moment to spotlight our department heads. We have Dave Haskey, our building official, who's hunting. Dana Bergbeck, our planning and zoning administrator. Heidi Bergman, our finance manager. Patty Rapuin, who's here, our assessor. She's also, I call her our local historian. She'll tell me what the property is, who owned it, who lived there, and it's great information. She's also my part-time therapist after a board meeting. I go to cry to her. So our DPW superintendent, Rich Amramino, he's my right-hand man, and so much that we do here to help us properly develop the township with the much-needed infrastructure these past 8 years since he's been on board. I keep postponing his retirement, so he's got a few more years to go. So, finally, this next gentleman is one of the greatest in the industry, our very own chief, Brian Tyrell. So I thank him as well. So, since being elected, I have asked a lot of all these men and women and the staff, and they all perform top-notch daily. So I thank them all and the staff that's back at work. So in Washington Township, we are honored and to be represented by the 9th Congressional District, which is our Honorable Lisa McLean. We also, at the state level, are represented by State Senator Ruth Johnson and State Representative Josh Shriver. As supervisor, the county level help is always needed and very much appreciated, especially with roads, safeties, and drains. You name it. I'm so honored and proud to be able to have the support and help from our county leaders. I'd like to begin with our very own county commissioner, who's also the chairman of the board, Don Brown, who's here. I also like to thank County Treasurer Larry Roca, County Prosecutor Pete Lucido, County Clerk Anthony Forlini, who's represented today by Kathy Smith, Sheriff Anthony Wickersham, Public Works Commissioner Candace Miller, who's represented today by Dan Accavetti, and of course our very own executive, Mark Hackel, who is an avid haystack climber, by the way. I know they all spoke, but I just want to take this time to thank our consultants, Giffords Webster. Mike Kozak is our township engineer. He is chock full of knowledge, and I talk to him as much as I talk to Rich, probably on a daily basis. We also utilize Fishbeck Engineering for our water and sewer engineering in the north end of our township. Spalding DeDecker, who handles our sidewalk gap program, and now is our new township planner, Casey, that's back here. AEW, Anderson, Eckstein, and Weistrick. Sorry, AEW, as we all know, who has handled the building, as they mentioned, of our new fire station number 3, and is in the process of designing our new fire station 2, and also refurbishing our old fire station 2. And we're also hoping to, we're in the process of designing a new DPW building. We also have OHM, who handles our clear zoning, and Bob Siebert, who is our township attorney. I want to thank them all for their service for our community. I also want to thank some special guests in the audience. We have Bruce Township Supervisor Mike Philbrook, who me and him work together a lot between all our joint community items. I want to thank the Deputy Supervisor of Harrison Township, Stephanie Middlestad, who's here representing Ken Verkest. We have J.P. Rea here from the county. Chris Young, the treasurer of the Romeo School Board's here, and Amy Malmer of SumCog. So thank you all and for attending today. So, I'm expecting it to be like Congress, half the site stands up, half the site. No, I'm joking. So with that, let me begin. Here in Washington Township, we have 6 key principles to follow. To preserve our rural character of our community with responsible development, operate in an equitable manner, manage in a fiscally responsible manner, provide friendly, respectable service, promote a favorable business environment, and demonstrate the highest ethical standards. To begin with our financial position, we are in an extremely well-funded position due to being fiscally responsible and conservative. We continue to maintain our AA bond rating for the last several years. Our taxable value and SCV continues to increase year after year, with our taxable value has grown past the year from $1.7 billion to $1.9 billion, which is a 9.2% increase over the last year, and our SCV from $2.1 to $2.4 billion, which is also a 9% increase. We expect both to continue to grow. We are annually audited by Plant Moran for the past 2 decades with positive results annually, and I want to thank our finance and treasury staff for all their diligent work to continue to operate in the interest of all the residents, making Washington Township a great place to live, work, and play. Most community leaders stand before you bragging of all the development they're bringing to their town. I, on the other hand, have the unique position where we continue to attract new homeowners and businesses while trying to ensure responsible development and maintaining the rural character that has attracted everyone to Washington Township. In the next few slides, I would like to showcase these positive attributes of Washington Township that attracts both business and residents to our community. Pocketbook, of course, is always a factor. So we have one of the lowest millage rates in the county. The few communities that operate less than Washington Township largely consist of towns with part-time fire departments, private EMS, or low or no police presence. Even more notable, we offer many services, while Washington has the lowest operating mills in Macomb County at 0.06017 mills. Washington's approach to development and building a great lifestyle has helped us maintain high property values in Macomb County. Washington offers many housing options, from multi-housing along our village district, attached and detached condos, and single-family housing from modest to mansions here in Washington. In the 2020 census, we're at a population of about 28,000 people with housing units over 10,000. The past few decades have shown an increase of over 14% each decade. This is due to the sewer capacity in the center of our township, where you see more growth, where we are working with businesses to develop a village district between 26 and 27 Mile. The portions east of Shaner and west of Mound have limited infrastructure, which allows us for more dense areas and larger lots. SEMCOG projects we should cap out at around 35 to 38,000 residents by 2050. Washington Township has a rich history of working together with Bruce Township and the Village of Romeo in a tri-community effort through our Parks and Rec, Star Transportation, Library, and School District. I'm honored to work with Mike Philbrook of Bruce Township and Megan Poznansky of Romeo to share resources to save costs and collaborating together. Our Romeo District Library is headed by Claire Meeker. We have 2 locations with the Keyser Library in Romeo and the Grubner Library, which serves as the main library on Van Dyke, north of 30. The library offers many state-of-the-art amenities, including a mobile book van that is used throughout the community, and also a kiosk service that gets books. You can get books and services after hours. Our Star Transportation has been providing the needs of the community, older adults and individuals with disabilities, since 1982, and it is supported by a millage by both Bruce and Washington Township. It's a specialized service grant from the state of Michigan, community and municipal credits from SMART. This is a community-based service provider by SMART. The crown gem of our tri-community is our Parks and Rec, which is headed by Director Claire Russell. Claire and her team help organize and host classes, sports, fitness centers, senior services and trips, maintains our numerous parks, and hosts a variety of events for all holidays and seasons. Over a third of our township is occupied by Stony Creek Metro Park. Although the entrance is in Shelby Township, it is really about 98% in Washington Township. So in the summer, we have over about 10,000 people weekly visiting that Metro Park for its fishing, boating, numerous trails, nature center, campground, and its golf course. Speaking of golf courses, we are home to 3 beautiful golf courses that attract both residents and visitors alike. We have Greystone Golf and Banquet Center, which we're here today, which is also a great venue, obviously, for events and weddings here. We have the Glacier Club, which is in the center of the township, and we also have Orchards Golf Course, which is at 29 and Campground, celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. The Orchards Golf Course has been repeatedly voted one of the top 10 golf courses in the state of Michigan. One of the exciting projects, as explained in the video, was it's been 1 year since we've developed a memorial park here in Washington Township. So throughout this past year, we've done a National Day of Prayer, Memorial Day. We've dedicated the township to the Purple Heart community. And just last week, we had a Veterans Day ceremony. So it's been a great event, and more people come out each time. It's a great way to salute our local veterans and heroes in our town. Part of the charm that brings residents here to Washington is our historical landmarks and rolling orchards. We are most known for the Octagon House, which is visible upon entry in the township at 26 and Van Dyke. This was built in 1860, and the society maintains it to this day with various events throughout the year. Our historical society is an old Washington schoolhouse built in 1916. And since 1974, this has become the home for the Historical Society, which helps organize a Super Sunday event held the first weekend of June with craft shows, music, and food. But if you want to step back in time any day of the week, you need to go no further than Frontier Town at 31 and Van Dyke with its variety of custom shops, bakery, candy store, ice cream shop. It holds a variety of events throughout the year, as well with car shows and craft shows, and in a turn-of-the-century setting, so it's a very unique experience. Speaking of orchards, we are still very blessed to have many farms and orchards here in our township. Most notably include Westview, which has been here since 1813, before the township was even founded. Varellans, that has just celebrated their 100th anniversary. And most recently, Big Red's was closed down and put for sale, and we are pleased to have local residents, Rob and Trish here, who purchased the farm and reinvested with new additional crops and investing to include an event center and keeping the agritourism alive in our northern part of the township. An interesting fact about Big Red is that Big Red gum was actually named after this farm by the Wrigley family. So all three of these farms and all three of these orchards and the local farms sell a variety of crops and local products throughout the year, not just cider and donuts. So please continue to support our local orchards here. As supervisor, conserving green space before development occurs is a major initiative that the board and I share. I have been proud to be working with the Romeo High School architecture students, headed by Ms. Eva Dawson, to design new parks to utilize and conserve these green spaces owned by the township. Here you'll see that the township owns land at 28 and Jewel, where the students came up with a beautiful natural park concept. We are now submitting the Parks and Rec to develop. So we actually met out there on site. They found the skull out there of a deer, hopefully. And anyway, they did all the graphics. I mean, they did a really top-notch job, and we actually got them working on another piece of property right now too. So we're very excited at the professionalism they're showing at a young age. I'm also proud to report for the first time that last week the Township Board allowed me to sign a purchase order to obtain 27 acres on Mound Road, known as Hawks Acres. The plan is to conserve this land on Mound, that since Mound has been developing at such a high pace, this plan is to conserve this land before the development takes over on Mound with future use as a farmer's market, community garden, and also we've been working with the MSU Extension Center, Oakland University, and Romeo Schools, as well as local churches for their thoughts as well to use for educational purposes and gardening purposes. We feel that this is the time is now to conserve portions of our township to ensure that rural character remains in the township. Oh, thanks. Washington is home to 3 excellent school districts, including Utica Schools to the south and Rochester Schools to the west, but the vast majority here is Romeo Schools. As supervisor, I'm proud to work closely with school superintendents. We also take part in Career Day. We're very proud to work here at Career Day. We have been instrumental working with students offering co-op programs and on-the-job training. As you'll see here, through our fire department, our WBRW Channel 6 has also offered co-ops with students interested in videography and as well as Stan's trying to get people to count votes there, and we're also trying to find co-op people to help out at the various times of the year here at the township. This past year, we were fortunate enough to get 2 co-ops here at the Township Hall. We had Bella and Naomi, and I'm proud to say that they both graduated and are attending college now, and they're continuing to work at the township part-time. And this program's headed by Mr. Tim Bessenau at the high school. Residents here love the recreation aspect of our parks, Stony Creek, and of course the Macomb Orchard Trail, which begins south of us in Shelby and continues all the way through Richmond. The Macomb Orchard Trail is enjoyed in every season and is a true asset here in the northern Macomb County. Since we're a community of mixed rural and development, sidewalk gaps occur here. So it has become a hot topic the past 2 years. We have outlined a new sidewalk ordinance to ensure sidewalks in certain areas of the township get sidewalks while preserving some areas without it due to the natural beauty roads in the northern part of our township. We have implemented a 5-year sidewalk gap program headed by our engineer Spalding DeDecker to engineer and install gaps to schools, trails, and shopping. In the past 2 years, we have installed over 10,000 feet of sidewalk and plan to continue this for the next 2 to 3 years. We are also fortunate to obtain a SEMCOG grant this past year for a pedestrian bridge over the Yates Drain on 26 Mile that has been needed desperately for several years, and it'll be installed in the spring of '24. Now for the exciting and boring stuff, infrastructure. This is the expensive stuff that is mostly buried underground. We continue to participate annually in 3 miles of limestone with the county and brining service for our dirt roads. Over the last 2 years, we have refurbished over 1,700 fire hydrants that will be completed this upcoming year. We have installed over 25,000 feet of water lines in the township and project to install another 10,000 feet of water and sewer lines in early '24. This has been talked about for many years and is finally becoming a reality to bring water to the perimeters of our township for extending the much-needed hydrants for fire safety and the removal of any annexation threats. In 2017, to deal with the increasing water rates due to the high altitude, the distance from GLWA, and our water usage, the township built a water tower tank, which has been instrumental for allowing us to freeze water rates increases for the past several years, and we are projecting no rate increase for the next few years as well. This investment has proven to pay for itself. The concept is basically that the water tank fills up between off-peak hours and when water rates are low. During peak times such as 5 to 9 a.m. and 5 to 9 p.m. when the water rates are higher, the water is drained from the water tank. So this way our water bill is consistently at a low level with GLWA, which has helped us to maintain a constant price. As you can see from the usage, watering in the summer is at an all-time high, especially if the summer is dry. So the residents here love to water their grass. So having this water tank really does help, and limited water restrictions because of the water tank has helped us to help that balance. In 2020, we built our wastewater treatment plant here to help bring sewer needs to the northern part of our township. This has allowed us a new revitalization to the northern part of our township with reinvestment to the commercial area in the northern part along Van Dyke. This treatment center has not only provide services to the north, but has room to expand and grow in the needed for the future. Both of these projects were designed and developed by Giffords Webster, our engineers. We continue to invest in the DPW equipment and our staff, and are now in the process of designing to build in 2024, a new DPW facility to properly house all the equipment under one roof. This will also free up space at the municipal hall, having all DPW personnel under one roof. This project is being headed up by AEW. As supervisor, roads are a top concern of mine and of course of residents. As I took office, I am grateful for the help of Macomb County Department of Roads Director Brian Santos for all his help with the county cost share programs to fix our roads and traffic concerns. The past 2 years, we have fixed more roads in Washington Township than in the past 2 decades. We have done over 20,000 feet of mill overlay, including West Road, Mound Road from 26 to 28, Campground Road, which is in the spring, we'll be putting a roundabout there, will be installed at that intersection of Van Dyke and Campground for added safety as that intersection continues to grow. And most notably, over 8,000 feet of full construction from dirt to asphalt of 30-mile road from Mound to Van Dyke in 2 phases, again with the cost share program with the county and also with the developer MJC companies, which help save the township money. We have also received preventative maintenance resurfacing projects that the county has offered for portions of 29-mile road, 27 and 26-mile road. And I thank them for taking all my calls, my emails, my begging, my pleading, my tears to fix them. We are now working on projects for the next 2 years to tackle. Upon being sworn in, both Clerk Babinski and myself inherited the municipal hall with many outdated items. Since taking office the past 3 years, we have replaced the roof, the gutters, sealed the basement from cracks, updated the security, upgraded the IT, replaced the leaking windows, landscaping issues. We don't want to mention some of the trees that went down. Installed a fibrillator outside near the pickleball courts, and now we are redoing the parking lot and sidewalks that were in disrepair, causing tripping hazards. During this process, we have installed utilities to the rear of the building, to our municipal park, for future updates to our park behind the hall, for an expansion of the pickleball courts. And these utilities will also bring lighting, security, and water and sewer, I should say, for new bathroom facility and pavilion in the rear of our municipal park to make it more usable. This should all be coming in the spring of '24. But if you stop by Municipal Hall right now, they're laying the asphalt as we speak. Please don't ask about the clock tower. That is the only item. The clock's only correct 2 times a day, and apparently no one can fix it. We joke it was used as a stunt double in the Back to the Future movie, but it's a bad joke. So with that, I want to thank all the men and women of our DPW staff, and again, our Superintendent Rich Amormino for all they do working for us. They work on all the weather elements, and they get the good and bad times to work, so we appreciate all they do. It's trigger happy here. Washington is home to the H Drain, King Drain, and the Mount Vernon Drain. I want to thank Candace Miller's office and Dan Cavetti for working with us in a partnership in cleaning these county drains. As you can see, the results are amazing and allows for water to pass freely and avoid any potential flooding. This is kind of a before and after of our Mount Vernon drain. And this is portions of the Yates drain that was cleaned, and we also have another one that's going on right now. I have said it a million times, but safety is my #1 concern as supervisor, and we are blessed to have the residents support us with an operating millage to have the Macomb County Sheriff's Department handle our township. With the growing population, I am proud to report that we have added 3 additional deputies to the township, and the results are phenomenal. I am actually receiving compliments from residents from the additional traffic and security of patrolling in our township around the community. We also continue to share a deputy liaison with Romeo Schools for the added security at the school district. So obviously I want to thank Anthony Wickersham, but I also like to thank Sergeant Petrowski, who meets with me monthly and gives me updates, and also Commander Abro, and thank you for your service. Our fire and EMS is top-notch, as we just said in Macomb County. We continue to support our men and women with the latest equipment and safety apparatuses. Our men and women continue to receive awards, accolades for their heroism, response time, and most of all, their compassion. Not a day goes by that our chief informs us of compliments he receives from residents of the excellent care and compassion received by our fire and EMS team. We recently signed a 10-year leasing contract with Stryker to ensure a locked price for the next decade, which allows our department with the new and updated equipment at a locked-in price. We are also working with AEW and refurbishing Station 2, as we mentioned, at 30 and Van Dyke to become the new deputy substation, and designing to build a new fire station at 30 and Powell. By creating the substation at 30 and Van Dyke, this will centrally locate the deputies and will also free up space that they share at Station 1 at the fire department. We have also secured 10 acres on 31 and Mound for a future Station 4, with 5 acres for the fire department and 5 acres for a future park. Unlike most townships, our commercial district is limited to 26-mile, 32-mile, and the Van Dyke corridor that connects them. I am proud to report we have a near capacity full of storefronts and new businesses opening consistently throughout the year. We have had over a dozen grand openings, several companies remodel, many anniversaries celebrated this year. As supervisor, I am constantly highlighting these achievements of the local businesses and investing in our community, and I appreciate their daily sacrifices on being a local business owner in this economy. I can keep bragging for hours, but in the end, our community is what makes Washington Township great. Not only a place to live, work, and play, but it is a place of community, friendships, a big heart made up of charities, community groups, churches, volunteers, Boy Scouts, veterans, neighbors, and friends joining together to help those less fortunate in our community. I want to thank all the volunteers that go unrecognized daily in our community. Since it is that time of the year, I want to spotlight our Washington Township Good Fellows, headed by our clerk, Stan Babinski. I want to thank him for all he does with charity, with helping those less fortunate this time of the year. And if anyone's interested in donating, please see Stan after the event. Before I conclude, I want to thank you guys all again. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you all. I'd like to thank my admin, Lindsay, for helping me coordinate this all week. Again, I'd like to thank all the sponsors, all of you for taking your morning out to listen to me talk, and of course the WBRW team, which I've been driving them nuts all week. So I thank you for all your video productions. With that, I wish you all a good day, happy Thanksgiving, and God bless you all. Thank you.
thank him one more time for sharing the good news about Washington Township. And Sam, we know that was a fake heart attack in the video. But we have a Henry Ford doctor that can help you prevent one if you get to that point. So we hope you don't get there, though. We like to leave a little time to hear from our county leaders, so please welcome County Executive Mark Hackle.
Thank you, Greg. Well, that was, once again, for the first time of having to do something like this in front of a crowd, do the state of a township, a city, a county, a state, or even State of the Union. I got to tell you, that was a fantastic job. You really did good because it's not something that's easy. I've been there, done that, and again, it's one of those things you just don't know how it's going to go off, how it's going to be received, and you know, sometimes it's a nerve-wracking thing. Many people know that I'm a very shy person. I have a hard time getting in front of a camera. One moment, please. That being said, Sam, you did a great job, and it was a lot of fun. But I got to tell you, you mentioned WBRW, and I just got to say it. From people that work with us as public officials, trying to get a message out and get the word out about what we're doing. Sometimes people don't recognize the importance of that. You just see your government in action. You don't really know what goes on behind the scenes, and sometimes that playful interaction you have with others. But organizations that are out there that have companies or businesses that try to market, brand them, that's their responsibility. And I do believe that is government's responsibility too, to get people to understand what they're paying for and what the services that they're getting. And so WBRW, I got to tell you, you folks do a great job out here. Beyond that particular little skit that we had at Big Reds, that was an incredible job that you pulled us together. But there were many things that were left on the cutting room floor. I'm just going to tell you, all right? I'm not going to get into all the details on that, but I do got to say, Robin Trish, thank you for opening your doors and give us an opportunity to see your facility. And boy, I'll tell you, you're really taking that to an incredible level in a very short period of time. And folks, I'm going to say it. Those donuts out there, I'm going to tell you, they were absolutely incredible. And I say that because I had the opportunity to eat a half a dozen during the outtakes of Sam and I getting ready to do our cheers. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time out there. But again, it was the pulling that together the first time I seen it, the work and the craftsmanship on behalf of your team, WBRW. Thank you for the work that you're doing on behalf of the township and the northern part of Macomb County. With that being said, I just want to touch on a few things. I don't want to get too belabored. Sam, you kept it short and sweet. I think everybody appreciates that. Sometimes these things do get a little too long-winded, but I do have to make mention when we talk about public safety. I don't think there's anything more important to government these days. You need only look at the national level, what we're facing around the globe, and the importance of the defense here for our country. But every municipality, whether it's a state, county, and or local municipality, that is the #1 priority. I mean, obviously, we could talk about education. It is a priority. We could talk about water and sewer. That is a priority. There are many priorities. Public safety, in my opinion, because of my background, stands out as #1. And I see that from this board. And it's not just Sam. It's the board and it's the residents that do truly support their public safety. They have and they continue to do so. So Brian Terrell, you and the folks that are working for your fire department, incredible job that you're doing. And Sergeant Petrosky and Captain Abro, I got to tell you, with Tony Wickersham's leadership, you do see the presence out here, but knowing that you get that support from this community really helps make it happen. And it's a reason why people continue to make Macomb their home, as well as Washington Township. So thanks to the board. Thank you, Sam, for making sure that is first and foremost public safety out here in Washington Township. And on that note, many people have known, and I'm not going to belabor it, but you've heard me talk about the jail and the jail project, working with our Board of Commissioners, Don Brown. And again, this is public safety is not a partisan issue, nor should anything be. But the reality is, when it comes to public safety, the jail issue was a concern for us because it was a situation where we have an aging facility that needed to be fixed. But we did it with a mindful approach towards what we're hearing from people today. It's mental health and substance abuse. We're seeing it, we're hearing about it, it's resonating in our schools, in our hospital systems, out in our businesses, in our own homes. And we're trying to figure out how do we deal with it. Well, there could be no more contact than what we see from public safety. Law enforcement sees it on a daily basis, and so does all of public safety, even the fire departments when they respond. There's a concern, there's an issue. The question becomes, what do we do when we come in contact with these people? The facilities we have to manage those folks when they come in are not what they should have been. when they first closed state institutions. In Macomb County, we've been talking about it since 2005. The only issue that was causing us concern was the funding of such a facility. We knew we had a plan, we knew what we wanted to do, and we knew that we were going to do it with a focus towards mental health, and we finally were able to do it with tax money coming back to Macomb County from the federal government, money coming from the state back to Macomb County, and money that we put together because of our creative financing we have going on in Macomb County along with the Board of Commissioners. And so with that, we are building about a $240 million facility that is a mindful approach towards mental health substance abuse, so that if and when people come in contact with us, once we have an opportunity to touch them and deal with them, we're trying to figure out how do we alleviate some of the concerns if and when they leave that facility back out into society. And we're doing it without any additional cost to the taxpayers here in Macomb County. That is something that is unheard of. You're hearing the problems in Detroit once again with that facility. It was just all over the news. Again, the overruns on costs and everything. This will be on time and under budget. And again, credit to many folks that were involved in helping make that happen. But I say that because that's something you don't talk about every day. We don't talk about a jail. We don't see what happens. That is a county responsibility. Everything Sam talked about is the local unit of government's responsibility to try to figure out how do we create business, how do we make it more business friendly, what do we do about parks and recreation, the quality of life assets that we have here, the hospital systems that are another reason why people continue to make Washington Township and Macomb their home, access to quality health care, and I dare say one of the finest school districts in not only the county, but probably in the state of Michigan. The Romeo School District does a phenomenal job of making sure they're educating our kids. So a lot of good things happening here, but that's the local responsibility. At the county level, we're going to continue to partner with Sam, as well as the board out here in Washington Township, to make sure the services that we need to provide you to help lift you up are going to be successful, because Macomb County is 27 unique and distinct municipalities, and Washington Township is definitely one of those communities. So Sam, thank you for your presentation today, and thank you all for being here, and I'll repeat what Sam said. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. We also have Macomb County Public Works Deputy Commissioner Dan Echevetti. Dan?
For those of you expecting the amazing Candace Miller, I apologize. Supervisor Pravidi, nice job. And keep an eye out on executive hackle. Year 2 and 3, you're going to start seeing maybe some heckling, maybe actual tackles, and some curveballs along the way. But very, very nice job. On behalf of Candace Miller, I want to thank the Chamber and Washington Township for allowing us to share our vision and to speak a little bit here. Our mission: water quality, quality of life, and we're a critical component of economic prosperity. And our tool, although some thinks it may be boring, is infrastructure, underground infrastructure. And I appreciate all the consultants in town, all the consultants that are here, managing this infrastructure in 3 different areas, especially the movement of water. It's been out of mind and out of sight for decades, hundreds of years. And putting that all back together essentially in 3 different areas. Wastewater. Washington is, I love coming to the northern 6 communities. The charming character here, we're higher elevation, 200, 300, 400 foot higher than Lake St. Clair, but you're unique in that the management of your wastewater, you have septics, you have your own wastewater treatment plant, and you're also part of the mid-system. So our piece is the mid-system, and we all know about the sinkhole, and proud to announce that 2024 would lead to the end of fixing a 3-mile stretch of where the 2016 sinkhole was under Candace Miller's leadership. That sanitary sewer ends up in the city of Detroit, and managing the flow of that sanitary sewer is critically important. Another legacy of Commissioner Miller, and what an inspiration, is her relentless pursuit of setting the bar, raising the bar, of reducing with the ultimate goal of never stop reducing our combined sewer overflows into Lake St. Clair. And I'm so proud to announce that the projects that have been done in the past are paying off, and we've got major projects going on right now. Innovative in-system storage projects. We are working on a canal expansion right now, most of which, if not all of which, is grant funded through Commissioner Miller's leadership at our federal and state partners to shine a highlight on that Lake St. Clair, which is one of the world's largest supplies of fresh water when you take the Great Lakes Basin, and that lake is a critical piece of it. So this isn't something that we have to do. It's something that we want to do and we need to do. And we will continue to reduce those CSOs and set the bar for everyone around us of how to do that. The last piece of the puzzle is managing stormwater. And this is where you take the diverse Macomb County. There's 27 communities, and you take a peek at the elevations. We're a lot higher here. And you take a look at the development and how we developed from St. Clair Shores, East Point, Roseville, these amazing communities to our south that have developed differently than the mid communities, those communities in the middle. And then you move to the northern part with the charm and character of Washington Township. It's hilly up here, amazing inland lakes. But every drop of rainwater that lands in Washington Township takes a journey into the Clinton River. Some goes to the main branch, some goes to the middle branch, some goes to the north branch, but every drop of water, some of those journeys are 50 miles long by the time you get done. And that's where the most excitement's happening. We work with Dana in the planning department and Rich over in the water and sewer department, ensuring that that rainwater is managed properly, where it's actually getting cleaned before it gets discharged for any new development that hits. And developing responsibly, keeping your rural character here in Washington is a big piece of the puzzle. And Bruce Township's even got a higher elevation than Washington. They actually got a mountain in Bruce Township that is the highest point in the area. So I apologize you don't have Commissioner Miller here, but we're proud of everything we're doing at Public Works, and thank you, Sam, and good job on your first State of the Township. And keep an eye on Mr. Hackle as you move down the road, because he can keep it fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. Before we let you go, we want to remind you that the Chamber's Shop Local campaign is active. We want to keep those local dollars in our local businesses, so thank you for your support for that. The state of county address is on December 6th. You can go to the Chamber website to register for that, as well as for other Chamber events that are upcoming. And we want to thank the Greystone Golf Club for their hospitality and their great food. We want to thank the Chamber staff for making everything run so smoothly and transparently. And thanks to all of you for your attention today. Have a very healthy weekend, healthy Thanksgiving. Go Lions.